Let's get into this. So, our next review of the day is going to be for the film Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back is the follow up film from the Philippou brothers there. They did the great horror movie I loved a lot called Talk to Me, which came out just a couple of years ago, actually. It was one of my favorite
Mhm,
movies of the year when it came out. And they're YouTubers turned feature film directors there.
mhm.
Um, and they've been making a name for themselves now with that horror movie Talk to Me, and that made me really excited and eager to see, this new movie that they have,
Yeah,
and what
yeah, excited and eager for whatever they did next because they were originally signed on to do a Street Fighter movie, and then they left that project to creative differences. And after seeing this movie, thank God for that.
yeah. And what is this about? So, Bring Her Back. So you have, 2 siblings in this, and they are, both adopted siblings, a brother and a sister. And with an incident that happens with their father, have to find a new person to take care of them, and that person is Sally Hawkins there. Sally Hawkins, people might know her. She was in, The Shape of Water, which didn't she
Mhm.
win an Oscar for that? Shape of
I
Water?
think she was nominated. I don't remember who won that year.
Okay. But people know the fish fucker. She was fucking fish in, that that movie there.
And she was also, Paddington's adopted mom, which
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
which I think, the Philippou brothers, they're really good at casting these, kind of older seasoned actors in these, very, very playing to, but also against type of roles. Like Sally Hawkins here as this, warm kind of maternal figure, and of course Miranda Otto from Talk to Me.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Piper and Oliver are the 2 adopted, siblings there, played by Sarah Wong, who plays Piper, who is visually impaired, so she
Mhm,
can see shapes and kinda colors, but she can't
mhm,
see a lot of things other things than that. You also have, the character of Andy here is played by Billy Barrett, who plays Andy, who's the older brother there. And when they arrive to this new home, with Sally Hawkins, they notice, okay, some strange things are kinda happening, some strange things are kinda
yeah,
going
there's
on here.
yeah,
Uh,
you remember the opening of Barbarian where it was just the entire 30 minutes of just presenting nothing but red flags?
yeah,
That's basically the first act of this movie once they get to this house.
pretty much, yeah. And Andy's kinda his whole game plan is like, "Listen, I'm about to turn 18 in 3 months. Once I turn 18, I can, apply for guardianship of,
Mhm,
Piper, and we can get out of here. We don't have to stay in the foster care system anymore." So that's kinda his game plan is like, "Okay, just stick it out for 3
mhm.
months." But he is like after a while, it's like, "Yeah, I don't think he's gonna stick it out for 3 months, bro." Not in this place. But so a lot of this movie, is the buildup, is the tension,
Mhm,
kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And you have a lot of movies, horror movies like that. And we talked about horror movies
mhm,
like that before. I've talked about horror movies like that before of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And then sometimes when it happens, either it's good or it's pretty terrible, or it's
mhm,
you're left kind of like, that was disappointing. And I don't
mhm,
think that happens with this movie. And it's hard to go into real super detail in this movie because it's all about how things unfold. It's all about
mhm.
things leading to the next thing there. But I will say, much like with Talk to Me, really good performances in here all around. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Oh, and kind of echoing a lot of what you're saying is so much of the horror because people, I think a lot of people they go into horror and even something like Talk to Me, where there was this like slow, never-ending buildup of dread. And that's something that I think the Philippou brothers do really well, especially here. Like from jump, you can tell that there was something wrong with Laura, the foster mother here. And you can tell that there was something off. And all of it is just perfectly built up and just never lets you breathe. But when the shoe does drop, elements of it are still a mystery to the audience because we aren't given like the full picture of what's going on until almost the very last act of this movie. And by then, you're almost so scarred that you're just begging for it to stop.
Yeah. When that final act does come, I mean, it's so stressful, intense. and the whole movie's very stressful,
Mhm.
intense, and what kinda leads up to it, but yeah, I mean, once that finally I mean, I was kinda laughing, it's not because it's, like, unintentionally funny, but just because it's, like,
Mhm.
so tense and just what happens and, like,
It's
where it leads to is like, "Oh,
it
shit."
yeah, it's kind of like that feeling of you're just so uncomfortable and just so just stewing in your own dread that you don't know what to do.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's a perfect description for it, like, you just kinda just like I was squirming in my seat,
I
I was like,
was like,
"Eh."
I when I walked out of the theater, I said 2 things to myself. It was like, "Wow, that movie was incredible, and I never want to watch this movie again."
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
know
like,
if
this thing was evil."
yeah, I don't know if it'll make my list of, like, because I have a list of, like, great movies I never wanna watch again, like, Magazine Dreams is on that
Mhm,
list, Requiem for a Dream is on that list. I don't know if this will make that list or not, of just, like, yeah, like, some movies that are just so uncomfortable and tense and just,
yeah,
like
and
yeah.
it kinda has that same feeling of, the original Hellraiser for me, where it feels
Mm,
like a movie you're not supposed to watch.
mm,
It just delves such into the macabre, and it has such provocative and disturbing imagery, uh, especially considering the subject matter of this movie, that it feels like a movie you survive.
yeah. And, I mean, the automatic comparison, of course, when you are a, newcomer director is like, okay, how does this sophomore film, compare to your, first film? Like,
Mhm,
how does it compare? And trying to, I don't want to have recency bias or anything like that. I still think Talk to Me is stronger. So I
mhm,
still think that that's still a stronger film there. But I still think there's still a lot of love to appreciate about Bring Her Back as well. But Talk
mhm,
to Me just was like, I just loved what it did with the concept of this ghost possession movie and how
mhm,
it had such a new kind of modern spin on that. I love
mhm.
that a lot. I don't want to compare 2
And
bad bitches to each other, but what I mean, what did you
I
kinda
was
what's
like
your thoughts there?
why do I gotta pick between, like, 2 tens right here?
Yeah.
It was like,
Um,
it and, with like, director, there's gonna be, like, signature things in their style, subject matter that they really like exploring, and if you've seen Talk to Me, you can probably guess, some of what Danny and Michael Philippou are talking about in this movie as far as the subject matter, what the deeper themes of it are. But I feel like this takes it and explores it in a different and much more mature light. Like
mm,
considering the nature of the character that it is examining, and I feel like that's all I can say without giving away what is going on in this movie.
yeah. And the girl who plays the visually impaired character,
Yeah, so,
Sarah
Sora Wong, who is visually impaired in real life.
yeah. She's fantastic in this, and she has to do a lot in this as
Mhm,
well. And I thought, yeah, I mean, I don't see that she's. I think this is her first thing that she's ever been in, and sometimes, yeah, they'll do that with actors. Like this is like the first time you've ever been in anything, and put you as kind of one of the leads of the film. Like they did that with the lead actress also of Talk to Me, and
mhm.
she did such a fantastic job. I was like, wow, I was like, she hasn't been in anything before. And I thought that was really amazing there as well. So yeah, she's fantastic. Billy Barrett as well, who plays Andy in this, and he's been in other things before. He was
Yeah,
in
yeah, he's been in other things. He was in a TV movie called Responsible Child. He was in Mary Poppins Returns.
oh hey, he was in Craven the Hunter. He was young Dimitri in Craven the Hunter. Hey, don't miss about that credit. I know you saw that credit. Don't miss the young
Yeah,
Dimitri.
yeah, I saw the credit, but it's also weird. It actually becomes an anomaly where you have a character in a film who's like a teenager played by an actual teenager because Billy Barrett is only 17 and he has some heavy shoes to fill dramatically and with this kind of subject matter, and he brings his A game, especially acting opposite a veteran like Sally Hawkins.
Yeah, he kind of looks like a little bit like a mix of like Evan Peters and somebody else. I can't think of it at the moment there, but yeah. But yeah, he definitely brings his A game in this as well there, and I think that's pretty great. Yeah, it this movie kinda depends if you like slower horror
Mhm,
movies here. If you are because this is an A24 movie, if you are
mhm.
familiar with A24 horror movies, sometimes it takes a minute to get to things and for things to kinda build and for that moment there. And we talked about because that wasn't that also an A24 film, the one with Brandy? That was A24, right?
The front room? I
Yeah.
think that was A24.
Yeah, now that one I didn't like. That one had all this tension building, and it didn't amount to shit because like this, no shoe dropped. I was like, "What the fuck was this?" This is the opposite of that. This actually has something going on. Even they build the tension, they
Mhm.
capitalize on that tension, and the shoe drops, and I think it's a good conclusion there. With it, with the amazing performances, with the great direction. There's so many great, also camera work here as well. Like this is a
Yeah, and yeah, I told myself that I wasn't gonna watch this movie again, but, talking to, friend of the show, Brandon Horn, who's been on our show a bunch of times, who's also a fellow, a sicko like me who really loves these movies. I kind of feel like I might need to watch this again because even Talk to Me, it's a movie I liked the first time I saw it, but I didn't really love it until after I gotten a chance to revisit it. And I kind of feel like I'd feel the same about this movie. Just picking apart the details of like every like camera movement and every choice, even the sound design that Danny and Michael Philippou use in this.
Mm, yeah, like, there's some cool, yeah, camera work here, like, there's a scene where Sally Hawkins is in a bathtub and it
Mm,
transitions to another. I thought that was really great. There's a scene where she's, like, making a circle and the camera does that work. I thought that was really good. Yeah, there's some really interesting, really great camera work in this as well, from them, so I found that really also very interesting. And there's also the character, even though the character doesn't talk and it's mostly physical stuff, I think they kinda do very well
Oh,
there.
yeah, that kid, Jonah Ren Phillips, who plays, Oliver, who is, one of, Sally Hawkins's foster kids. I don't know where A24 or, like, all of these directors who work for that studio find these creepy ass kids, but goddamn, that kid is amazing.
Yeah, even though the kid is mute, it's like, yeah, I mean, hey, your role is to play creepy ass kid, and you play it well. I mean, that you are a very great creepy ass kid in it, so I think that works very well in it. So yeah, and the actor has been in things. They were in Sweet Tooth there,
Mhm,
they're in that, and yes, they've been some other stuff before. Yeah, I like this quite a bit. Like I said, I don't think it's as good as their first movie, but I still think it's very good. I still think
mhm,
it's a very good movie filled with great performances. Sally Hawkins in this, especially that final act is really well done. Yeah, all the things I said, like it really builds up. Like sometimes horror movies will do all this,
mhm.
and they don't capitalize on anything, and it just kind of leaves you kind of just flat. And it's like, oh, that we went through all that for this. I think this actually has a greater conclusion to that. It depends if you like those slower build horror movies and you're willing to wait for it. I mean, this isn't a very
Mhm.
long movie. It's only like an hour and 40 something
Yeah,
minutes.
it's an hour and 40 some minutes, but we talk about pacing in movies all the time. And I feel like with this is, slow, deliberate pacing done well.
Yeah, it,
Because
it it
it
works.
is an hour and 47 minutes, but you're kind of sitting in agony waiting for that 4 hour 47 to go by.
Yeah. So it kind of depends if you're that type of viewer there. So for me, I would give this mm, high tune in, bordering on a peak.
Mhm.
Yeah. What about you?
And I'm kind of two minds with this movie because I feel like this movie does so much well, and you know for a second feature directors with Danny and Michael Philippou, guys who seem very jovial, very nice, very funny guys, in all their interviews and all their stuff on Raka Raka. I just have one question for them: who hurt you? Because this movie, it feels like you're watching something evil, and it is, just tension filled nonstop. You have such phenomenal performances from the entire cast, from Billy Barrett, from Sally Hawkins, from Sora Wong, who basically carry this entire film. And the subject matter in here, it 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 delves into the supernatural. I think it offers a much more concrete explanation for the supernatural than Talk to Me did, but you're still not getting a clear picture, and that feels like it makes it so much scarier. And this performance from Sally Hawkins, it is almost a career defining performance, and it's a character that will make you feel every which way but Sunday even just coming home from watching this movie, I still don't know how I feel about her as a character. And
Mm,
I really can't explore that without going to spoilers, but I said it before, it's like the gore in this, it does feel excessive, especially considering who a majority of it is inflicted upon, but that's all done intentionally. And a movie's if a movie's subject matter and the way it uses effects and uses violence, especially against this subject matter, then the movie is doing its job well. If it fits in a story and it never feels like it's just being exploitative, and I can say kudos to Danny and Michael Philippou. It's like, as far as I'm concerned, these two are 2 for 2 as feature directors, and I'm giving this a very strong peak. I
mm,
am kind of dreading seeing this movie again, but I kind of need to in order to solidify its place on my best of list.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm definitely bringing my crucifixes and some holy water before I go see this again.
yeah. So you said so it'll be on your list, maybe thinking for best of
It it
2025?
it might be. It
Mm,
might be depending on how the rest of the year pans out.
yeah, I'm thinking that as well. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So high tune in for me. Strong peak from Nick for bring her back. Bring her back. Nick, bring her back, man. Bring her back. Uh
Oh,